Before
Everyone
the
thinks
stroke,
that.
I thought I was doing
Sounds
well,
familiar.
genuinely.
Just
Zero
like
one.
that. The hard
Everyone
way.
thinks that.
No oxygen,
Busy
no
schedule,
space.
goals on a list,
Gone before you
plans I
touch it.
kept moving to
No going
next
back.
week. I was one of
Constraint
those people
forced
who
clarity.
confused being busy
Invisible
with
to
being
who?
alive.
4
And I
hours,
did it for
that's it.
years.
Not what felt
Sounds
urgent.
familiar.
Then a
Quality
blood
went
vessel
up.
burst
You
inside
choose
my
the
brain,
noise.
a hemorrhagic
Built
stroke,
from the ruins.
and everything I thought I
That's a
had figured
challenge.
out stopped.
No stroke
Just
required.
like that.
Most
What
never
nobody
ask that.
prepares you for
Moving
is what
clears the
comes
fog.
after
You choose
surviving.
who's rebuilt.
Because surviving is not
One
the
thing,
finish line.
every week.
It is the starting
Already
point.
on episode
And
2.
rebuilding,
No
truly
more
rebuilding a
excuses
mind
now.
from the ground up, turned out to be the most important education I ever received, the hardest way available.
The hard way.
Welcome to Rebuild. I want to tell you exactly what happened, not for drama, but because the specifics matter. A hemorrhagic stroke is not a blockage, it is a bleed. Blood floods the brain, and the brain, which needs oxygen and space to function, suddenly has neither.
No oxygen.
The first thing I felt was a headache, unlike anything I had experienced before. Not a headache, a detonation. Then confusion. I remember trying to connect my thoughts, and they just wouldn't reach each other. Like grabbing for something on a shelf and your hand passing straight through it.
Gone before you touch it.
Then I was in the hospital. Then I was recovering. 7 months later. And the life I had before, the busy coasting plans on a list, life was gone. Not paused, not on hold, gone.
No going back.
Here is what I did not know at the time. That forced stop, the inability to coast, to stay on autopilot, to keep doing what I had always done, was the most valuable thing that ever happened to me. Not the stroke, the stop. For the first time in years, I had no choice but to be intentional because I no longer had the capacity to waste energy on anything that did not matter.
Constraint forced clarity.
Exactly. And clarity turned out to be the one thing I had been missing my entire adult life. Here is what nobody tells you about surviving a serious brain event. The hardest part is not the physical recovery. It is not the medication or the physiotherapy or the months of appointments. The hardest part is cognitive, and it is invisible to everyone.
Invisible to who?
You can look completely fine and still be running at 20%. You can hold a conversation, follow a thread, respond normally, and still be exhausted by it in a way you cannot explain to anyone who has not felt it. I had maybe 4 good hours a day, 4 hours where my brain operated at something close to what it used to be. Everything else was fog.
4 hours, that's it.
That is it. And most people's meeting schedule does not even fit into 4 hours. But that limitation, brutal, non negotiable, take it or leave it, forced me to do something I had never done before in my adult life. Decide what actually mattered.
Not what felt urgent.
So I identified 3 outputs, 3 things per day that genuinely moved my life forward. Everything else, the admin, the low stakes emails, the decisions that felt important but weren't, got moved to the hours when my brain was running on empty anyway. And something unexpected happened.
Quality went up.
Quality went up significantly because I was protecting my best hours instead of spending them on whatever arrived first. That is not a stroke insight. That is a human performance insight. Most people just never get forced to face it.
We choose the noise.
We choose the noise. Every day, voluntarily, we choose to start with the noise. Extreme situations do not create lessons. They reveal the ones that were already there, waiting for you to be quiet enough to hear them. I want to be direct about what Rebuilt is and what it is not. It is not a medical show. I am not a doctor. It is not a stroke awareness campaign. Though if this reaches someone who needs that information, good.
Built from the ruins.
Rebuilt is a show about mental performance, the habits, mindset shifts, and daily decisions that determine whether your brain works for you or against you, built from the ruins, which means I am not guessing. I am not repeating something I read in a book or heard at a seminar. I am telling you what I tested on a damaged brain in real conditions with real consequences. If it worked under those conditions, and it did, it will work under yours. Your brain is not damaged. You have no excuse.
That's a challenge.
T is absolutely a challenge because most people listening to this are underperforming not because they lack intelligence or ability or opportunity, but because they have never been forced to be intentional. You are coasting. I know because I was coasting and it took a bleed in my brain to make me stop. I am not wishing that on anyone. What I am doing is handing you the lessons without the price tag. Everything I learned the hard way, you can learn here. That is the whole point of this show.
No stroke required.
No stroke required. 18 months of rebuilding. Here are three things I now know for certain. One, your habits are running your life, whether you designed them or not. Most people have habits they inherited by accident from their environment, their upbringing, their default settings. The people who perform at the highest level are the ones who looked at their habits deliberately and asked a simple question: did I choose this or did it just happen to me?
Most never ask that.
Most never ask that, and most never will, unless something forces them to. Two, the mind and the body are not separate systems. During recovery, the days I moved, even a short walk, even 10 minutes, were the days my thinking was sharpest. The days I stayed still were the days the fog was thickest. That is not coincidence. That is biology, and most people are ignoring it every time.
Moving clears the fog.
Three, and this is the one that changed everything for me: identity is a decision, not a discovery. Most people spend years waiting to find out who they are, but who you are is who you decide to be and then act like consistently over time, whether you feel like it or not. I had to rebuild my identity from the ground up, deliberately, consciously, piece by piece.
You choose who's rebuilt.
You choose who gets rebuilt. You do not need a stroke to start that process. You just need a decision. Every week on Rebuilt, we go deep on one thing. One habit, one shift, one decision that changes how your brain operates. No padding, no filler. Just what moved the needle for me on a damaged brain with nothing left to waste.
One thing every week.
Next week, 10 tiny habits that make you mentally unstoppable. Every one of them tested in recovery. Some I found by accident. Some I found because I had no choice. All of them work.
Already want episode 2.
If you know someone who is coasting, someone running on autopilot with more ability than intention, send them this, not to help them, challenge them. Tell them someone rebuilt their brain from scratch and figured this out. You can figure out your morning.
No more excuses now.
I'm rebuilt. Let's go. You can figure out